Welcome students. We elect any government to make sure we are protected and the law and order is protected. At the same time, other function that we are expecting from any government that we elect commonly is to make sure the taxes and the finances that are collected are judicially used for purposes that are commonly meant and which we can't fulfill at individual level. So today, without any delay, let's discuss about the budget provisions, which is very essential and the prime most function of any government without which it can't continue its day-to-day activities throughout the year. So we are discussing about annual financial statement, which is nothing but budget. Annual financial statement is the term that is being used as part of Constitution of India's Article 112, which means government would inform its plan for next coming 1 year, and it will also report about how it was with respect to expenses and revenue in last financial year. So if you look at what Constitution of India would be mentioning about, it would say it is responsibility of President to lay annual financial statement before the table of the House. Does it mean President in reality would place the budget? The answer is no. Which means no private member could introduce the budget, but it's responsibility of treasury benches, which means the Council of Ministers on behalf of President to introduce budget every year. The budget is all about how funds of Consolidated Fund of India are utilized. So now the question comes regarding this in your prelims examination or mains examination about the repercussions or how the things would be in during the crisis, what all things government need to take care of, and regarding other intricacies and which we would be looking at today. So as part of budget, there are two kinds of expenditure. One is voted, other is made out of Consolidated Fund of India, which means which is already an obligation despite whether Consolidated Fund of India needs permission or not, whether annual financial statement is voted and budget passes or not, this expenditure would be remitted, and it includes something like salaries paid to judges, president. Along with that, even the interest payments to the debt that is made as part of sovereign debt is remitted, and it has nothing to do with voting. Even if it is voted out, still there's an obligation. But when it comes to voted expenditure, unless this part is passed, government can't stay. Which means in case of budget not being passed by parliament, the very next instance, Prime Minister has to resign and new Council of Ministers are to be invited to form the government, which is nothing but an equivalent of no confidence motion that government can't spend a single penny from Consolidated Fund of India. If this is clear, then other part which we need to be looking at as part of budget, what we would be getting is about FRBM. Fiscal responsibility and budget management has been an important thing since last 2 decades. It's been introduced in 2003 to make sure the future generations are not burdened by the existing budget provisions, which means you can't go for limitless debt. Okay, so when you can't go for a limitless debt, the first thing that you would do is to make sure your fiscal deficit is constrained. Of course, when it was introduced, the aim was to bring it to 3%, but invoking the extraordinary clause, which could be utilized during restructuring of economy, or if not restructuring, it's about the extraordinary situations of crisis, which was quoted as the COVID-19 pandemic has distorted the economy, so the necessity allowed them to breach this 3%. They went till 9% and now are coming back to 5%. So this is broadly what they want to do. As part of FRBM, the obligation is on government to introduce 3 statements. First one is medium term fiscal policy statement. Other than that, the other 2 reports that are obligated are macroeconomic framework statement, which means they need a fiscal glide path about how macroeconomics are stabilized. And the third one is all about making sure a fiscal policy statement is given, which is the main objective is. So this is what is expected as part of budget, of course. Along with this, a day before budget, economic survey would be released, and this is how the phenomena would be continuing. And you know that the second house, Rajya Sabha, can't vote upon. So as Rajya Sabha can't vote upon, the power lies with Lok Sabha, the lower house, as extraordinary control over this bill, and it's also equivalent of a sovereign government bringing the report of last year and the next year. Hope you got a basic introduction of how budget would be and how the sessions would be. I'll meet you another day with better video. Till then, thank you.